Alright, so it is a gorgeous bank holiday Monday morning. Well, it's more like midday now, but never mind. And we have come here to have a look. Little Downham Community Orchard. This is about a 20-minute drive from my house, and it's literally an apple orchard. There's several different varieties of apple growing there, and they all grow at different times of the year. So yeah, there's always some apples there. Now I've come here with Bella, one of my dogs. It's good for her to get out and yeah, get some energy out. And this is a lovely place to walk dogs. I won't be surprised if we see quite a few other people in here today. It's a lovely day for it. Not quite as warm as it has been. It's a little cloudy today, but it's still perfectly good weather to be out and about. Yeah, we'll do some footage as we're walking around. There's a few interesting things to see in this well, I'm not sure what it's called actually, community park. I know this bit that we're going into first is the orchard, but there's a whole sort of country park bit down the bottom as well that we're going to have a walk around. Now, the last time I came here was with Bella and my other two pugs, Archer and Muffin. Now, we're trying to socialise Bella. She's only 6 months old, and you know, we're trying to do the usual puppy training with her. And part of that is socialising her, getting her so that she will behave on walks. And last time it was a complete fucking disaster. She was running around. She was on the long lead, and she would run to as far as she could in one direction, then run the other way. Very reactive to other dogs. It was a complete fucking disaster. But it was also a bit of a surprise, because that was the second time we'd tried the socialising. First time I'd taken her out on her own to Ely Country Park, and she was absolutely fine. Liked to sniff things, as dogs often do. Yeah, have a good sniff around. We'll have a quick look in here, see if there's anyone in here. If other dogs came nearer, they'd, you know, sniff each other's bumholes and then move on. She was the perfect dog. I was really impressed. And then on this second attempt, she was a nightmare. If she behaves now, I'm wondering if it's having all three dogs hit with us that's throwing her off, and that's something we need to work on. So she's waiting in the car for me. I'll stop jabbering on, and we'll see how things go. Alright, Bella, let's get you out, shall we, girl? You're ready for a good long walk, aren't you? You don't like car journeys. I don't know why you don't like car journeys. Exciting things happen when you go in the car. Careful, careful. The car ends. Go on then, girl. Let's get going, shall we? Alright, so as we're walking, I'll try and keep the camera as steady as I can. But if the dog jerks me, then yeah, that's not going to happen. This is the community orchard. Now, I do like these little community projects. I think it's great for even small villages to have green places for people to go. And this one is quite unique. I've never seen anything quite like this before. And whoever came up with the idea deserves a medal, because I think it's brilliant. But every one of these trees is an apple tree. Now, there's not many apples at the moment. It's only springtime. And whilst I don't really know, I imagine most apples bear fruit in sort of the summer to the autumn time. So through the winter they sort of die off. Well, it's not dead, is it? Oh, never mind. I'm wearing. But yeah, so at the moment they all look very similar to each other. But they are in fact all different types of apple. I don't know if it's breed or I don't know what you call it. But yeah, I'm coming a bit closer, look. See, we're just starting to get some of the spring blossom, and Bella's loving it. There's lots to smell, isn't there, Bella? Yes. Who's a good girl? Right, let's keep going through, shall we? So there's a little bit more information about the orchard on this sign down the bottom, and there's a little map. Oh, careful Bella. It shows where we are. So we're currently here at the top, and we're about to go through these woods, and then we can go out into the meadow down here. I haven't been to this bit here that they call the Holts, so I'll have to see how we get to that, but that could be interesting. We'll have a look at that later. And then this is just the rest of the village up here. Apparently this was set up during National Tree Week in 2005. And yeah, planted local memory, was planted by local people in memory of the orchards that once graced Little Downham. The apple varieties are all thought to have originated in Cambridgeshire. In time we intend to add other fruit trees. You are welcome to walk here and to sample the fruits in season, but please leave some for others to enjoy. So don't be a greedy cunt. And yeah, this is quite interesting. There's another sign like this further round, some of the wildlife that you see here. Now, I don't think we're going to see any barn owls today on a brilliant summer's day, given that they're nocturnal. But we may well see something else. Or we may see absolutely no wildlife whatsoever. But we'll see what we can see. Alright. Now, over here, there's this little stand. It normally has little leaflets in, which have a map on, and it shows you, it numbers the trees, and you can tell what each of them are. Unfortunately, there aren't any in there at the moment. I think I've got some at home. If I can find it, then I'll scan it and show it on screen. But yeah, for now there just aren't any. Okay, let's see what's across this little bridge. There's more interesting stuff through there. Now this would appear to be a fairly new addition. This was here the last time I came with Bella, but I didn't really explore it. We were going on his way home. But yeah, when I first discovered this place, this wasn't here. So yeah, it's nice to see that this is being developed still. Some sort of old trailer stuffed up in the corner. Something else over there as well. I think that looks to be the box part of a Luton van that's just sort of been placed there as storage. Presumably there's equipment in it that they use for maintaining this place. Lawnmowers, such like. Don't know. Yeah, could do with a lick of paint. Doesn't really match the surroundings. Yeah, nice little picnic area here as we go through into the next bit. Yeah, if we come around the other side, it's quite obviously off the back of a Luton style van. It's all old and beat up, but the padlocks on it are brand new. And if we look up there, there's a solar panel. So this is obviously still in use. But yeah, lick of paint, guys, and it'll look lovely. Alright, so first test of the day for Bella. I think it went okay, could have been worse, because there was two dogs, I think they were boxers, off lead, which a lot of people seem to do in here. They've come through from the apple orchard, and yeah, I have to say I don't agree with doing that. Let your dog off a lead by all means, but it needs to stay in sight and it needs to have good recall. These two didn't. They were perfectly friendly. They had two dogs quite a bit bigger than Bella. They came bounding up to her. Yeah, Bella was not happy. She came and tried to jump in my lap, but of course the other two dogs followed. So there was a bit of growling on her part to try and make them go away. The owner eventually came over and took them away. But yeah. Other than that, she did alright. She was half listening, but to be fair, I think she was a bit scared. Where you go? She was half listening as I called her back, and she of course came to me. And she's whining now. Alright, girl. Come here. Bella. Good girl. Yeah. So, yeah. That was alright. To be fair, I can't blame Bella that much. I blame the owner of those other two dogs. But, I'm not going to say don't let your dog off lead. I like to do it whenever possible. But you need to keep them in sight and they need to have good recall. And yeah, these were in the other field. Let the dogs out of sight and anything could have happened. So, yeah. Come here, Bella. You've got yourself in a tangle. But no. Other than that, I'm going to say reasonably successful. You know, any downsides on Bella's part, I'm going to say were down to her being, well, scared. There was two much larger dogs came running towards her. But she still listened to me. Well, half listened, you know. Can't blame her for that. So yeah, we'll keep walking. And we'll keep trying. Bella, here. Good girl. Now, just before we move on, I was trying to date this cart shed that I'm in. And the closest I can find to it is this, which says it was opened in September of 2001. So, yeah, it's about 21 years old now, is this. It's very oldie-worldy. If we look up the top here, they've certainly built it in a certain style, but if you look closely at the wood, it doesn't look that old. It's obviously meant to look like something that's 100 years old, but it's not quite there. I mean, I like it, it's not a downside, but yeah. I've also noticed this bit here in the corner, which I would love to get close to, but the dog has wrapped the lead around my legs. There we go. Bella, here. I don't know what's going on. We've got the bench over there that I was sat on a moment ago, and we've got this low wall with vents in it. And it seems to be filled with sort of loose hardcore. It's almost like it used to have a top on it for you to sit on. And there's these screws poking out of it as well. Almost like there was something here. I'll have to see if I can find some old pictures of it and find out what this used to look like. I really hope this hasn't fallen victim to vandalism. That sort of shit annoys me. Right. Bella's really pulling at the lead now, which is why the camera is shaking so much, so let's move on at last. Not entirely sure what this is. Just this large circle. This definitely wasn't here the last time I came, and that was only about a month ago. It's not a circle, right? The triangle. They've just sort of taken the grass up. I don't know if they're planning on planting something in there. It's not fenced off or anything. It's just a bit weird. They've just taken this triangle out of the earth and just cut all the grass out of it. Whatever. So a little off the beaten track. We've just come through from the field. There's the cart shed that we were just in. There's this little woodland walk. I'm going to go through here. Go on, Bella. Let's see what we can see. Bit of a story about this little patch, this little walk here through this bit of woodland. Now, a few years ago now, a couple of years ago, my parents and grandmother were visiting. Now, this was a visit not long before my grandmother moved into the care home where she lived for the rest of her life. Oh, we're pooping there, are we, Bella? Alright. And she was quite frail and quite unsteady on her feet. And yeah, we all came down here, brought the dogs, and we didn't have Bella at the time. This is before she was even born. And yeah, came for a walk, and she really wanted to hold one of the dogs. In particular, she wanted to hold Archer. Now, Archer at the time wasn't quite as sedate and well behaved as he is now. We'll just wait here whilst I'll clean that poo in a minute. Actually, let's just do it now. Alright, where were we? Ah, yeah. Now, at the time, Archer wasn't quite as sedate and well behaved as he is now. He's really matured these past few years, as dogs do. He was still quite lively, liked to run everywhere and pull on his lead. But my grandma insisted on holding him. And to his credit, Archer did not move from her side the entire time. I don't know what it was, somehow he seemed to know that he just couldn't behave like that. And yeah, we were making his way through these woods, again because my grandma wanted to come this way. And we'll just have a quick seat on this bench. Bella, here. Bella. Who's a good girl? Yes, you're a good girl. And yeah, so we're making our way through these woods, and every now and then there'd be a branch or a twig or something in the way. And my grandma would stop, and it'd take her a while to step over it. She was really quite unsteady by this point. But whenever she would stop or pause, Archer would stop, and he wouldn't whine or make a fuss or anything like that, or pull on his lead. He would just stop and wait patiently. Come on, girl, let's carry on. And yeah, I'm still proud of him to this day, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if he knew, or if he sensed it, or what it was, but he was absolutely perfect. And I mean like guide dog perfect with my grandma. And yeah, all the way home. My grandma liked having him, and he seemed to like being with her. He was very loving with her as well. The time that she stayed with me for about a week or so at one point. Yeah, Archer was very loving. Oh, we found something to roll in, have we? So yeah, good memories of this little woodland walk. And yeah, I might, when my partner is back in the country, we might bring all 3 dogs here again. So yeah, fond memories of walking through these woods with the dogs, in particular Archer. Oh, Bella wants to get going. Alright, we'll stop filming and do some walking, so we're running out of battery power now. Here's something you don't see very often in these community green spaces. Beehives. According to the sign, these are European honeybees as well, so there'll be honey inside these hives. Yeah, last time I came, these were, well, there was no bees at all, but you know, it was still a bit cold. Yeah, 2 of them seem to be active now. The one on the left, the white plastic one, is very active indeed. But yeah, as many people will tell you, bees are as important to the future of mankind as anything else on this planet. So it's good to see them thriving here. I don't know what's happened to that 3rd one on the right. There doesn't seem to be any activity in it at all. I don't know, maybe it didn't make it through the winter. So it's fenced off for, well, obvious reasons, but yeah, interesting. Oh, bloody hell, Bella wants to go. Alright, come on, Bella. I love walking in the woods. say, though, so far the whole wildlife we've seen, apart from the honeybees, is bumblebees and a single butterfly. You can hear lots of it. Yeah. Alright, let's go through into the meadow. I can hear people in there, so we're just going to turn the camera off so I can have proper control of Bella as we go through. So I don't know what's in there until you actually get in there, that's all. Sort of through these hedges. There's another patch of earth as we come through into the meadow. Again, this wasn't here the last time I came. I don't know what they're planning. They're wanting to plant something here, maybe some flowers or trees or whatever. Yeah. This one, however, is quite weird. Appears to have... See, that's the largest plant. You can tell by the colour of the soil around it. Someone's watered it. There's another two over here, look. But there can't be more than a dozen in this whole patch of land. So I don't know what they're actually doing. I'll have to check local news, see if there's a local newsletter or something for the village that tells me what the hell's going on. Lovely view of Ely Cathedral from here. I zoom us in and see what I mean. She's right there. Now, it's not the biggest cathedral or the most impressive one. Oh, that was trying to pull me away. But the way it can be seen from so far away, I try and imagine when that was built, which was a good few hundred years ago now. And all of this, the village that we're in, Little Downham, and most of the surrounding villages would have been fenland in its natural form before it was drained. And it's often referred to as the Isle of Ely, because Ely was an island. So, you see, most of this fenland that we're enjoying now is actually below sea level. So it would have been flooded. It was marshlands and such like. And I try to imagine the people living back then. That cathedral would have been like a lighthouse, like a beacon. To them it would have been just like we look at skyscrapers today. You know, it would have been visible for miles around. Yeah, it's really quite incredible. Oh, 3 dogs off lead have appeared. Bella's not happy. They weren't nice to her earlier. Alright, let's keep walking, Bella. Bit of a recurring theme, this. Yet again, something that you don't normally see in these community green spaces. There's well, I'd call it a bird watching hut, or an observation hut. I'm not sure what you'd call it. You come in here, and we've got this little lovely natural pond to look out on. I'm sure if we sat here quietly for long enough, we'd see some interesting wildlife. And this seems like a nice place. The sun is starting to come through now and it's getting quite warm. So we're just going to sit in here, in the shade, have a bite to eat. And we'll see if we can see anything out on this little pond. I don't know if it's coming across on the camera, but there are little ripples on the surface. So there's some sort of insect life out there. I don't know if there's anything lives in the actual pond, fish, etc. But yeah, we'll sit here quietly, have something to eat, and we'll see what comes along. Come and sit down, fella. Let's have something to eat. Look, we've got treats. Yeah. Growling at that nice man earlier was not cool. Oh, what's this? Right. Bella, sit. Good girl. Right. Put it in here. And have a bit of this sandwich, aren't we? Just because the dog's so scary doesn't mean you can growl at everything that comes near us. Up. Fella. Down. Good job. Come on, sit down. Fella, sit. Good girl. That's not too bad actually. Village shop sandwich. Not half bad actually. Get yourself all tangled up, haven't you, girl? Now look. There's two small dogs coming towards us. They're a long way off, but I expect you to be on your best behaviour when they get here. No growling or snarling, no kicking off. Just politely say hello. They're not going to hurt you. They're no bigger than Muffin and Archer. See if we can get a picture of that interesting looking bird that's out there. See, if we sit and be quiet, interesting things come. Right, this is what we've been waiting here for. There is your wildlife. No idea what that bird is called. It's a little smaller than a duck. As you can see, very different in colour. Its beak is a lovely yellow colour, and it has this red colouring on its face, and there's two of them, and this one's out in the open, the other one is hiding in the reeds. Now I tried getting a shot of the two of them together earlier, so they were both out in the open, but the batteries went on the camera. The other one is hiding in those reeds over there. I'm going to have to look at what type of bird they are. But yeah, that's what we've been waiting for. The only other bit of wildlife is there's a bumblebee just outside this little hut. It's been minding its own business, buzzing around the whole time I've been sat here. Oh, must have seen something. Did you get it? Oh, there we go. This was something it wants. It's eating something. Oh, there we go again. Don't know what it just ate, but it ate it. In a bit of a rush now. You happy with yourself, fella? Interestingly, this one seems happy to go into these reeds. It disappeared in there earlier. So I'm guessing there's a nest or something in there, nice and hidden away. The other one went into the other reeds, which are over there. But I've yet to see them go into each other's, so I don't know. Respecting each other's property boundaries, maybe? Who knows? The one that was out earlier, that went into the reeds on the right, hasn't come back out yet. Whereas this one seems quite happy to bob around, loving life. Right, my arms are aching now. This is a really awkward camera angle, so I'm going to put the camera down, eat some more grub, and we're going to carry on with our walk. Have myself a chocolate bar. I'll just watch out over this pond. Let's move on, shall we? Keep walking, Bella. We're having a bit of a rest, Bella. It's hard work growling at strangers, isn't it? Or have you just got yourself all tangled up in your lead again, just decided to sit down till I fix it? Bella, who's a good gal? Shall we carry on with the walkies? Bella, treats. Good gal. Who's a good gal? Do you want a couple more before we carry on? So normally I would tell you to sit before having a treat, that's what we do. Given that you're already lying down, not much point. Right, here you go, gal. Yeah. Here's a few more. Right. I'll just munch all three in one hit, yeah. There's no more. There's no more. You can lick my hands as much as you like. There isn't going to be any more there. Come. Shall we carry on with the walkies? Shall we? Shall we? Who's a good girl? Come on then. Oh dear me. Yep, alright, let's go. Get your feet out the treats. Get out. Nice try. Come on, let's go. Now, I'm not going to read this out in full, but I've just found this sign. I'm having to hold it up because if I let go it just sort of falls apart. It's obviously been here a while. It's this wall of text, but it looks to be some sort of a local folk tale, and it talks about apparently there's some pits nearby. Now I don't know if it's this pond that we've just been sat by or if it's somewhere else, but yeah, it tells a story of a beautiful young girl, well 18 years old, so I suppose back in 1782 when this was set she would have been considered a middle-aged. And she, well, you know, she was, it tells a story of her life, brief story, and then she goes on and she enjoys walks in the night. She goes out to this sort of water pit and falls in it, and supposedly all that was heard from her was a shriek that was cut short, and the legend of the shrieking pits was born. And it ends, I will read you the last line. And it says, Some say that on the 24th of February at midnight something can be heard and seen near the pit. I would not know, for nothing would induce me to find out. Even on the sunniest day the place is cool. Interesting. Right, thankfully they're leaving. Those two boxers that we saw earlier have just come back into this field. Clearly the two owners are making their way back now. But I saw the dogs before I saw the owners, and they in fact came from that corner, and they were the entire way across the field in seconds. Dogs were absolutely running free, and we didn't see the owners for another few minutes after that. Now, like I said earlier, I'm all for letting your dog off a lead, but they need to stay within sight. You need to call them back if they're getting out of sight. They've just let their two large dogs run into a field without knowing what's in here. You know, they just, oh, my dogs are fine. Yeah, but you don't know if mine is. And she wasn't too happy the first time she met your two hounds. You know, show a bit of responsibility, for Christ's sake. That is an attitude that seems to be so prevalent with dog owners. You know, they'll just let them run riot, and they'll run up to people and terrify them, or run up to other dogs and scare them. And they're like, oh, don't worry, he's fine. Yeah, but you don't know if my child is. You know, you don't know how my dog is going to react to two large dogs running up to her. Is that nice, Bella? Anyway, I've stopped at this bit of water, not because Bella wants to drink from it, although apparently she does. She doesn't normally like water, but she's happy to go wading in it. I couldn't see this until I was less than 10 metres away from it. If this is what the so-called shrieking pits are all about, then that explains it. If you were walking out here at night, like the tale goes, there's every chance you wouldn't fucking see this until you fell into it. And it said that they were deep enough and cold enough that this once swallowed a horse and cart whole with no trace. So, yeah, interesting. Right, someone else come through with his dog off lead, but at least it's staying close by. Bella's tugging me again, she wants to carry on. Alright, come on then, Bella, let's see what's down in this corner where those rather irresponsible dog owners came from. Another good example. I have been down here before when there has been livestock in this field. Now there isn't at the moment, and they would have known that because they've already come through here. But there is a water trough over there, and they do sometimes keep livestock in here, so if they're making a habit of just letting their dogs run ahead, eventually they're going to let them into this field and it's going to be full of cows or bulls or something like that. Not cool. We have found, oh, Bella, we have found the Holts, third part of this nature reserve. It's the third green bit that was on that map we were looking at earlier. Never been in this bit before. Apparently there's a circular walk, so this should be interesting actually. Yeah, plenty of new things to see here. Isn't that right, Bella? Yeah? Come on then, let's see what we can find. Now, I wonder what this used to be. Just spotted a bit of metal there. Bit of metal there, you can just see a tyre. And then through there, looks to be the cab of a truck. Let's see if we can wander in here. It's a good job I'm not wearing shorts today. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Virtually nothing left. Some sort of lump over there. There's this here. I don't know what this used to be. Fuel tank, maybe? It's got a line coming off it at the top there. I'd say probably a fuel tank. And there's some more twisted metal over there as well. Clearly someone decided they didn't want it anymore, abandoned it here, and in the meantime it's rotten away until there's nothing left. I think even the most skilled vehicle restorer is just gonna, they're not even gonna know what, it's basically gone. Yeah, another few years there'll be no trace of it whatsoever. But yeah, I do wonder what it used to be. I mean, that cab looks like the cab of a pickup truck, or so I don't know, maybe some sort of agricultural vehicle. So I decided I didn't want it. Have a look at this other bit through here. Yeah, so there's another tyre here. That bit, remarkably well preserved. Some sort of valve on the top as well. That might be the engine that we're looking at. It's hard to tell. Oh no, it's not that hard. Spark plugs. That is the engine. So, yeah, and that looks like down there a pedal of some sort. And presumably that bit that you can just see going through there will be your gearbox and drive shaft. And then that will be the back of it. It's quite how the cab ended up over there, I don't know. But yeah. And that looks to be the front bumper of it there. Amazing what people abandon sometimes. If this had been sold on and looked after, it'd probably be a nice classic car nowadays, but instead it's just pieces of rust taken over by nature. Right, let's see what's up here, shall we? Come on, Bella. Something else down there we can have a look at. Let's go see, shall we? Yeah, another bit of metal, presumably also from that vehicle. Well, it's probably just going to sit here and rot away now. No one's going to come and collect it or clear it away. So, yeah. It's an interesting brick building as well. Oh, bloody hell, Bella. How have you done that, animal? Right. Bella, sit. Alright, don't sit, but at least you'll stay. Come on, girl. Let's see what's in here. An interesting brickwork. We're going back into where the truck... I'm calling it the truck, I don't know if it actually is the truck. Old wheelbarrow. Again, just abandoned and left here. Bits of tree growing through it. Bit of corrugated iron. And there's this down here. And that over there, that's barely rusty. Looks like it might be one of the old water troughs that we saw in the field back there, but who knows. Let's have a look at this brickwork. So whatever this is, or used to be, it's old. Really old. And I can tell that because there's a whopping great tree grown over it. And more of it down here sort of growing up there. This bit that was stood next to, and the shape of it, looks like it used to be a fireplace and chimney. So, I'm just going to see if we can poke ourselves in here. Now through that mass of wood there is the truck that we were just looking at. So, given the wheelbarrow, I don't know what this is here. This looks like some other type of oven, or maybe it's a... yeah, Christ knows what it is. The ruins of something. Right, let's climb out of here. Bella's not too happy with me. She wants to be off walking and I'm fucking around in here. Alright, we're coming, dog. Yeah. Some sort of farm building. Clearly people cooked here. I mean, that's too small to be anything other than a normal fireplace for cooking and keeping warm. There's so little left of this. Presumably it used to be much bigger as well. There's not a lot left. Alright, let's keep going and see what else we can find. I'm not going to get too close because it's probably private land. And I know they like their peace and solitude. I had no idea this was here. Fishing pond. And the way the people are spaced out, it looks like there's a match going on. We'll keep walking, see if we can get around and get a proper look, but yeah. This is why I like exploring. I had absolutely no idea that was there. Right, how are we going to handle this, Bella? You've never seen one of these before, have you? Well, we could start by eating some of the local plant life, yeah, that works. What are we going to do? Now, if you were a pug, I'd just pick you up and I'd climb over myself. You're a bit big for that. Right. Let's try this, shall we? Oh no! Right. Come on, up. Which bit do you want to go through? Alright, I'll pick you up, shall I? Yeah. Come through here, look. Come. Come. Good girl. This dog is incredibly intelligent. If I manage to get a bit closer. Now I can go right up to that fence, but I'm not going to. So I don't want to disturb them. It's quite obvious there's a match going on here. Everyone's sat at their own pegs. Never really understood fishing. I mean, I like the idea, but some people spend thousands. There are probably people out there sat on equipment that costs more than my car. But people love it. Some of the people I know go fishing and they will talk for hours about it if you get them going. But yeah, I'm not going to do too much more. They're all taking it very seriously. There was a match official walking around earlier. So yeah, we don't disturb them by filming them, so let's just move on. Trying desperately to keep the camera steady, but we're at the extreme of zoom on this. Just seen that poking out across this field. That is an owl box. Always nice to see. But yeah, different from normal boxes, partly because they're bigger, but also owls like to be up nice and high. So yeah, there's another one. We track around. Oh, that's Bella pulling me along. Bella, here. It looks to be the remains of another one over there that's been, well, it looks really quite old. And yeah, and there was a third one, but we can't see it now. It was around the corner. Always nice to see things like that out here. Well, we've just found out Bella can swim. I told her not to get too close to the edge. And what did she do? She got too close to the edge. That was a bit of a shock, wasn't it, girl? Fortunately she was able to get back out, but you didn't quite know what to do, did you? She was swimming, but she was going for the other side. I'm like, no, no, come this way. I do not want you stood the other side of this. Me holding the fucking lead. Oh dear, you're gonna need a bath now. You can see it's not the cleanest of water. That scum floating on the top, she managed to fall into a massive bank of that. You can see it down there, it sort of clogs everything up. Zoom it in. Yeah, she fell right into the thick of that. Come on, Bella. Good job it's a nice sunny day, isn't it? Yeah, I know, you're all wet, aren't you? Next time, don't ignore me. Well, there's a bench down here, we'll sit down and have a bit of a break, shall we? No, don't do it again! Somehow her face is dry. Sort of. I think she went in up to the eyeballs there. I think it's the first time she's actually been completely in water. At least I know that she can swim. Come on, girl, let's go sit on this bench. Fucking dog. Somehow I don't think we're on the beaten track anymore. I mean, it's a public footpath, but yeah, I don't think we're in the Holts anymore. I think we might have taken a wrong turn. Especially if this sign is anything to go by. Oh, now look. Let's have a sit down. What does this say? I know, Bella. I know. Hmm. 1981, this bench. Bloody hell. This bench is older than me and you put together. This is why I like being out in the country, though. Look at that. And there's Ely Cathedral again, off in the distance. Alright. Something has stung me in the leg, so I'm going to find out what that is. And we're going to have a bit more to eat and a drink. And then we'll try and find us way back to the footpath that we were meant to be on. You sitting there, are you, Bella? A bit more of this sandwich. Oh, look out in this view. No, you're not having out though. No, you're soaking wet. Get off. Just sit down, right? You have something to eat in a minute. Sit. Right, lie down. Good girl. Stay. Sit in the sun and dry off for a bit, girl. Come on. You'll feel better for it. One downside to being out here in the fens, we have incredibly fertile soil. It's why this bit of country is known as the breadbasket of the UK. And certain parts of the infrastructure out here were actually... Let's just move the camera a touch so you can see me. Certain parts of the infrastructure out here were key bombing targets for the Germans during the Second World War. Sit down, Bella. Bella, sit. Specifically the sluice gates. Oh. I know. I'm not having me sandwich. Oh. Harry, come. Bella. Anyway, she's not too happy after meeting those first few dogs. She's not normally like that at all. That was quite extreme and quite embarrassing. Anyway, I was saying the sluice gates, which helped stop this whole area coming to the flooding again. They were key bombing targets because if they could be destroyed, then thousands and thousands of acres of farmland would be underwater. Fortunately, they were never hit or destroyed, and you know we now get to enjoy this lovely countryside. But yeah. Anyway, back to the soil. Whilst it does produce plentiful crops, if if you can get, say, potatoes from this part of the country, they're bigger and they're far tastier than anything else you can get. And well, anything grown out here is normally bigger. Unfortunately, that does also go for the nettles. Now, there's some just under this bench. I'm staying away from them. But as I've sat down, one of them has managed to sting me through the trouser leg. Fuck me, does my leg hurt right now. I've had it before as well. I've been wearing suede gardening gloves, and the nettles will get you through them. So, yeah. Even the fucking weeds and the nettles grow bigger and stronger out here. It's a fucking nightmare. It really fucking hurts. Probably people out there now are going, oh, it's just a nettle, don't be a wimp. Well, come out here and stick your face in them. Leave that, Bella. Don't knock that off, Jesus. It'll land in the nettles. Come on, sit down, girl. Have some treats in a minute. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to sit and enjoy this for a second. Sit down, girl. What is it? What is it? You stink now, dog. Smell like you've been in the ocean or fishmongers. I know. However, you'll dry off in the sun. You'll be nice and dry by the time we get home. Probably still going to smell. You have to get a bath when you get home. Right, yeah. No, I don't want you sitting on me, you're all wet. That dog's gone. Just me and you. I'm going to have to work on that. I know those two dogs earlier were scary, but you can't be like that with every dog. And you especially can't be like that with people. Not everybody knows you like I do. Right, there's a tractor. Why are that in the distance? You're just staring at my sandwich, aren't you? You're not having my sandwich. Do you want a treat? Right, no. No, right, alright, good girl. You are filthy. Filthy. Oh, what's happened there? Oh. Sit. Get some treats out. I know, you know what's in here, don't you? You know. Don't be sticking your face in again, that's rude. Bella, sit. Good girl. Alright, there you go. Yeah. Well, they're crunchy, aren't they? No. No, you don't take. You don't take. What are we doing? Are you posing for the camera? Are you? You're just trying to look handsome now, aren't you? You're a good girl. Bella, here. Come, sit. Good girl. Have a treat. Yeah. No. Hold on. Right, let's try lying down. Eh? You haven't quite got lying down, have you? Bella, lie down. Come, lie down. You haven't quite got it, have you? How do you sit still? Dry off in the sun. Oh, alright, do that. Come on. Lie down. Lie down. Oh, you do sit. You learn to sit in like 2 attempts. Why won't you lie down? Bella? Sit. Wait. Come on. Don't take. Well, you'll be down with me. Right, we're sitting down. I think, Bella, we should go up to that gate and we'll see what's there. And if there's nothing interesting, we should go back the way we came. I think it's time we start going home soon, isn't it? Right, Bella, here. Sit. Good girl. Who's a good girl? Good girl. Fucking all wet now, aren't I? Right. Lie down. Lie down. Go on. You can do it. Go on. Yeah, good girl. Right. Let's see what's up at that gate. Yeah. If it's interesting, we'll keep going. If not, we're going back. No going in the water this time. So, top of the hill by the white gate, it opens out. We're sort of going out into farmland now. The edge of the village is just at the top of that road, and whilst I'm sure it's perfectly fine to walk down this road, we are sort of going off into working farmland there. Those are newish looking trucks down there. So this is active farmland, which I'm not overly keen on walking on. Maybe another time we'll see if we can park a bit closer, or we'll just head straight here and then we can do a bit more exploring. But for now, we just come across this Fifis, Spinny, planted December 2006. Looks to have a little bit of a footpath through it, and it's this sort of small wooded area. Very young trees in it, so we'll have a little bit of an explore with this, and then we're going to start heading back towards the Holts and ultimately back to the car. Let's have a look down here. Bella's already starting to dry off, partly in the sun, partly by rubbing up against my trousers. I like places like this. I mean, if you just wanted somewhere peaceful to go, or if you needed some time alone, some quiet time to yourself, which we all need sometimes, this is lovely. I mean, you might want to drive to it. We're a long way from civilization now, but just think you could sit here on this bench and just look out on all of this. So, yeah. All those people that never leave the cities, you don't know what you're missing. Bella, here. Let's see what's down here. Ooh. Alright, this Spinny, a little bit of woodland. Yeah, it's quite a bit larger than I thought. And up there, you can just see the road, and that telegraph pole is where we entered. And we've still got all this way to go, and it looks to curve around. But I tell you what, I'm definitely coming back out here. Now, and the reason being is, well, I want to keep on exploring. I've just seen mother and child on a bike ride go down that road and disappear off into the distance, so it's clearly fine for you to go there. And it looks like it goes on for quite some way. But also, and I don't know if this is coming across on the microphone on my camera, but I can hear nothing. There's a slight rustling of this long grass, the occasional bee, insect, and of course all the noise that I'm making, and that is it. It is completely silent out here. When we first started the walk we could still hear distant car noise from the A10, and of course, you know, other people and occasional bit of traffic in the village, but we are so far out now. This is lovely. Okay, we're going to venture around this corner and see what's out here. Don't get yourself stuck around the tree, Bella. Story of my life. Come on, girl, let's get you sorted out. Looks like we're reaching the end of it now. It sort of circles around there. I think there's going to be a nice view when we get past these trees, though. That should make for some decent panorama photos. I'll apologise in advance for the wind noise. We're quite exposed now, so there's going to be some through here. Oh look, let's go down here. Let's have a look through here. Oh, that one's prickly. Ow! Look at that. Got a gorgeous shot of the cathedral again. Alright, let's do some still photos. Right, just thought I'd get a better shot of that owl box I was trying to show you earlier. There it is. I don't know why they're designed like they are, but they are. But yeah, if you see these whilst you're out on your travels, there's another one up there as well, just in those trees. So there it is. If you're out and about and you see these things, leave them well enough alone. And native owl population's under threat enough as it is, without you interfering. They're doing a good job, and there's every chance there's an owl living in one, so leave it well alone. I just switched out to phone camera now. Reason being is I've just about filled up the SD card in my normal camera. I left the house, it said I had space for 23,000 still photos, but I've shot that much video footage. It's now saying I've got room for about 200. So we're just going to ease off on that because it'll fill up quite quickly by the sounds of it. Just walking around here, because I've noticed over there, just behind that, it looks like a mound of earth. There's a bench and a life buoy. It looks like there's another pond, or maybe it's the shrieking pit, but I can't see a way to get to it. So we've walked around the edge of this field because it's all fenced off. There's hedges here now, but where there isn't, there's fencing. So we're just going to head up here and see if we can get to it and have a look. We're also back on the Holts trail, so we are slowly heading back towards the car now. So yeah, Bella's starting to flag a bit. She's not as energetic as normal, and yeah, my feet are starting to hurt I'm going to have to work out on some sort of map when I get back just how far we walk, but I suspect it's a good few miles. Interestingly, just past, again assuming mother and son walking their dog, and in stark contrast to the two dog walkers we saw earlier, but yeah, brilliant. We were going through a bit, it was much narrower than this, sort of just barely wide enough for two people to pass each other. Trees and bushes on either side, and they've stopped just outside it. This looks to be how we get. There's a pit there. It looks like we can go through this gate up here. But yeah, they've stopped just outside it where it widened out again, and they've called to me to say, you know, my dog's a bit unpredictable around others. Fair play to you. And I just said, oh well, mine too today. A couple of big boxers jumped on her early, so she's a bit nervous, and yeah. But that was good. They knew their dog. They recognised that they didn't know mine or how she would behave, and they took appropriate action. If only all dog owners could be like that. Isn't that right, Bella? Shall we see what's in here? Come on then, let's go have a look. Countryside code, I think it's called. Always shut the gates behind you. Oh, this is nice. Look at that. Don't go in the water again, Bella. Little bridge. We'll go across it. Memory of Andrew Cowlin. Oh. So it says on here. This bench is in memory of Brian Nicholas Webster, 1927 to 2003, an international man who circled the world with wisdom and rests now in his beloved Fenland. That's actually really nice. Let's have a sit down, so I'm getting quite warm. Bella's got herself tangled around the bench. Good job, Bella. Yeah. If anyone fancies making a memorial garden to me when I die, make it look like this. This is nice. I mean, yeah, there's some bits that have had to be pruned and it's maybe a little overgrown in places, but cross a bridge and you've got a nice bench to sit on. Yeah, this is nice. We'll sit here for a few minutes. So you're wary now, aren't you? That last lot of water you got too close to came up and grabbed you, didn't it? Eh? Yeah. Where are we going? Careful. You're not a cat. You don't have 9 lives. Alright, let's keep going. As much as I would like to sit and stay here, because this would be the perfect place to sit and say, read a book for several hours and just forget about the world. Sitting there, my feet are starting to ache. So we're going to press on and get back, because otherwise the walk back will be grueling and I won't want to do it. So far this has been a really enjoyable day. So yeah, this is the way out. I'm going to try and remember where all these places are. So I'm definitely going to come back here. Even if I don't come back with the dogs, like I say, I might just come back and sit down and do nothing for several hours. That'll be lovely. Come on then, Bella, let's go back. Come. And remember, always shut the gate behind you. I say that because you might be letting livestock out. Now that only really applies when you're way out in the country, and we don't see much livestock out here because it's all arable farming, plants, crops. But it's still a good habit to maintain. Always shut the gates behind you. Even when you're on public land like this, keep up the habit and be a responsible citizen. Right, okay. I'm going to stop filming now and just try and hike back, unless we see something interesting. Bella's had a bit of a rest, she's starting to pull again, and I'm quite keen to get back now. So we'll knock off the camera for now. Right, final leg of the trip now. Bella's right out in front again, I think she knows it. But rather than go back through the meadow and the orchard, we kept going along that little track, and it brought us out on the road. And we'll just go straight up here, and the car is parked at the top of the street. Or at least that's where I left it. So, yeah, it'll still be there. Quiet little villages like this. Nearly there, Bella, nearly there. You can go home and have a sleep. I might do the same. Whilst we're walking though, my feet are killing me. It's come on quite quick as well. I was fine until we sat down at that last pond. There we go, we're just passing the pond where we sat and had our first bite to eat. So it's just in there. Go on, Bella. But these boots that I'm walking with are relatively new. I mean, I've had them a few years, but I somehow, I can't remember how, ended up with two identical pairs of boots. So I put one lot away in the cupboard and started wearing the others. Now, I've had those other boots about, at least 5 years. Yeah, probably more than that, probably more like 7 years, at least. And they're just about on their last legs. The sole of them has just about worn smooth, which is not really that good if you're out hiking, especially if you're on mud. You tend to slip and fall over and look like a fucking idiot. Yeah, they've got a hole in them, so they're not waterproof anymore. I caught my foot on a screw sticking out of a bit of wood and it punctured them. But they are superbly comfortable. They're lovely to walk in. I can spend a whole day in them walking around. But these, even though I've been breaking them in for the better part of a year now, just are not as comfortable. And yet they're meant to be identical. So I don't know what to make of that. But the car's there, look. There's a chap just getting out with a fishing rod. I don't know what he's thinking, but yeah. Car's there. We're nearly home. But yeah, I think I'm thinking about some new walking boots. Even though these are still in supposedly good condition. I've tried changing the insoles and that doesn't work. It's a bit annoying because walking boots are fucking expensive. Alright, come on, Bella. Okay, so to wrap up, we're back where we started at the little Downham community orchard. I've right enjoyed today. I think Bella has us too. I'm a little disappointed in some of the reactions that we've had from her two other dogs. I think she was a bit put out from those first two. They did scare her, and yeah, she doesn't often get scared unless she's been told off for something. So yeah, and then we had the dunking in the river. I think that dented her confidence a little bit. But then later, you know, she seemed to feel a bit better. We met another dog and she was fine. And we've just met a small child who's down the road being taught how to ride a bike by his dad. And she was lovely with him. I'm going to put the problems today down to that first encounter and the surprise dunking in the water, because otherwise she's been good. Feet are hurting now. We're going to get in the car, get home, have a nice refreshing beverage along the way. So we'll call that it for today, and yeah, thank you for watching.